Welcome, this is Melinda Barlow, CZT, Certified Zen Tangle Teacher. And it's been a long time. I've had some health issues, mainly mental health issues. When my son-in-law passed away 3 months ago, it's been hard for me to get back on track. And I've had a few people say I was missing in action, and it just drove me to say, okay, you got to get going here. You got to get back on the bandwagon. You got to start doing Zen Tangle. You know how it helps. And so I'm back, and I've already signed, we're going to start doing classes at my library. So live classes, if you want to come. If you're anywhere around me, come to the library on Tuesdays at 1, and you'll be able to take a live class. So I've just had a couple of good friends who have just really coaxed me to get back into the game again. So today we're going to do a beautiful tangle called Dancer. And I've done it on a brown tile. And I am excited. I think you'll love it because we're doing a lot of shading and using different pencils. I'm using, a jelly roll, a micron, a Prismacolor pencil in terracotta and white, and a little chalk, and some odorless paint thinner to thin it. So join me and let's get started. And now here we go with Dancer. This is Dancer, and I've embellished it a little, and we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to do it on a brown tile. And so here is my brown tile, and I'm going to work with, I have been so heavy-handed lately that I'm using an micron 05 because I don't squish the pen. And so we're going to use the micron 05 and it's got a better, wider tip, and you can hold it and really get a nice line out of it. You can get a fine line or you can get a thick line. So I'm just going to start at the bottom of my tile, and I'm putting it on the diagonal, and I'm going to do a little fescue. Let's see if I can come in a little bit more. So I call them little curly fescues, and they're just going to stack on each other. And I like to give mine a little bit of bobble at the end. And so we're just going to kind of come right up the center with the little fescue. And now we're going to come, and so that's one stroke all the way up. Now we're going to come and we're going to just make a scallop down the end and then come down to that point. So you just make a scallop. And now we're just going to fan out and do a little, I don't know what you call, I call it a little fan stroke, and maybe a little heart, like that half of a heart. And we're just going to step down, but I'm going to touch, curve, and then curve in a little. You want it to have just a little bit of dance to that step, to this, so that it has that little, just a little swish. So I just come in a little bit, and I'm just going to trail down all the way to the end. So there is Dancer. And now we're going to embellish so we get this. Now you could draw another one up. I drew on this one, I drew 2 dancers and then I kind of stuck them together, but this time we're only going to do 1. So now we're going to embellish this a little bit. So I am going to just aura these little, the last one I did. And when I aura, I'm going to come and meet it down at the bottom. I'm not going to actually aura it all the way. I'm going to kind of meet it down. So I just realized these are like little like question marks. And so we aura that. And we're also going to aura this little scallop that we did. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a aura on it. And I'm going to aura the fescue. And every time I come back in, kind of start out, come around and back in. So now that we have everything aura, even just this enhances your tangles. When in doubt, Maria says aura. So now I'm going to change my pens, and I'm going to pick up a 10 jelly roll, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fill in this little space here with my jelly roll. You can use your chalk pencil if you want, but I've just chosen to use the jelly roll. This one, the 8 and 10 really fill up. They're not as fine, so they really fill up the space. And I'm going to come and I'm going to also do that same thing on these little question marks, little things that or the little scallops down the back of the dancer. We have to remember that jelly roll doesn't dry as fast as micron, the black pens, so you have to be aware and not put your hand in it. You can kind of see that I'm working and being careful that I don't put my hand in that jelly roll until it dries. And every time I do a tangle, it looks a little different because it's art and you can't really do two exactly alike. So there we have. Now I'm going to put down my jelly roll pen, and I'm going to take a, you can tell this is a terracotta pencil by, oh my goodness, Prisma. It's a Prisma color terracotta pencil. And I'm going to fill in, I'm looking to see if that's dry. It looks fairly dry, so I'm going to start at this end. And I'm just going to put some terracotta pencil in this area. And I'm not too concerned because I'm going to blend it with some odorless paint thinner. And some people don't like to use that. They feel it's toxic, and so you can use a baby oil. I've never tried it. I've just heard that you can use baby oil. So, but I think that would make my tile kind of oily, and so I wouldn't want to try that. So now that I've got that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to use a Prisma white, and I'm going to fill in the bottom. This is really my shading technique here. And now I'm going to take my pencils want to just roll. I'm going to take my shading stump, and I'm going to dip it in my paint thinner, and I'm going to blend it. Blend my terracotta pencil down in to my white. Oop, missed one. Sometimes I have to pick up a little bit more paint thinner so I can blend it well. Kind of smears out, blends it all together. And there we have it blended. Now I'm going to take, and I'm using a pencil that is a very, very soft pencil. It's a 3B, and it's almost too soft, I think, but we're going to do, I'm just going to put a line around where I ordered my fescue. And because this is such a soft pencil, I have to be very careful that I don't blend too much. I just want to kind of keep it right up there. I'm just giving little circular motions to blend. And there we have that. Now I'm going to come back in with my 05 pen, and I'm just going to give some little dots. And I like to do my dots, my dot work last, after I've shaded, because I like them to be a little starker. And if you put them there and then shade over the top of them, they're just not as brilliant. They kind of lose their blackness or their whiteness. Because I'm going to use it a jelly roll also, and add some dots with the jelly roll. So there we have those dots. And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to add in my gray I'm going to add dots around on my gray. And when you put jelly rolls over graphite, the graphite will pick up in the jelly roll and make it just a little grayer color. Won't be a stark white. And so there we have Dancer. Now to just to give this a little something here, I'm going to put and I'm trying to think of what they're called. You'd think I could remember. Maria does one, and Rick does one, and I will remember, maybe not, the name to tell you what they are. But they're just kind of a little round and then back in. And I love this. It's a great little fill-in tangle. If I were in my class, they would all tell me, and I would like to fill in even, I can hear you all shouting the name, but I cannot remember it. Fill in with a few circles and some poke root. You know, poke root is a fun one, just to fill in. Now, we should shade and do these also, add a little color to them. So I'm just going to do a little shading on my poke root. Just a little underneath, and I'm going to do a little shading on, I'm just mad at myself that I can't think of what this one's called. I'll look it up and I'll put it at the bottom when I edit this video. So I'm going to also need to blend this because I did it with Prisma color pencils. So I'm just going to blend it out. It looks a little darker because the odorless paint thinner changes the brown paper just a little, but it will dry up and you won't see it. So you're seeing how just this much. Now, I really would think I'm going to go back and add a little white to the top of those, and I don't even think I need to blend. And come back in here and add my little orbs, because orbs just fit in anywhere. And you can also fill in the background so that it is black. That adds lots of contrast. You can see that as I fill that in, what wonderful, you know, how that really adds to the depth of the tangle. And there you have Dancer. And I'm going to make sure that I put my chalk on there, and I like to date. So there it is, a darling tangle. Or you can see this one that I did. Well, I'm glad I'm back. I can tell that I have really missed tangling and how it makes me feel. Sometimes you get so low that you can't even do the things you love. And I appreciate your support. And we'll be doing tangles on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm going to give it my best shot. And thanks for the encouragement, and have a great day.